adults speaking. We're RCMP, bankers, you've got volunteers, you've got just about everybody wrapped up in this, Brian.
You know, I really believe the only way that we can build healthy communities, and the default switch is by everyone in the community, not just one person doing one thing, but everybody doing something. And we've got a community matrix of police officers, bank executives, doctors, lawyers, and we've been able to remove that invisible wall between the have and the have-nots and give the services. And it's just a tangible way that just really brings love personified.
Now, the Running and Reading Club represents 2 hours, 1 day a week. I love you call it a hyperbaric chamber of hope.
Yes. You know, Maura, the key is we've got an issue on our hands. They talk about ADD and ADHD. Yeah. It must be the most crippling disease that ever hit the world because there's really no cure for it. But I really believe it's a child's form of stress and burnout. But what they need is, and a lot of the children that we deal with that are at or below the poverty line, they're not just pennies that are out of circulation. But have you ever seen a penny that it falls through a grate and you could see it? It can recognize the atmosphere around it, but it has such a heavy weight off on its shoulders, right? What we do, and this 2 hours after school, is create a hyperbaric chamber of hope that they can accomplish anything they set their mind to. And we believe that because of all the prayer, because of all of the dedication, no child has ever gone wrong when someone's genuinely cared about them. And the only way that we know that we truly, our prayers are effective is when we see the tangible manifestation, the outworking, and that's in the life of a child.
Interesting, because a hyperbaric chamber is an infusion of oxygen that brings rapid healing.
That's right.
So that's great. You know, I said to Ron Maines, I said, God's given you such a gift of witticisms. You can just make handles out of, you just create them, don't you?
You know,
I love it.
It's fun. I mean, this is a labor of love. I get an opportunity to proclaim Christ 24/7. And but this is John 1:14, the Word becoming flesh, and going into those schools 2 hours, 1 day a week. And if someone just has some time on their hand, we could use anyone that has some time on their hand. And they're going to come in and they're going to sit with some children. And the one thing I want you to know, though, the kids that we work with, they steal your heart, but it grows back every time.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful. We have a word of the day after we run their tongues out for 45 minutes. We give them a healthy snack, and then we read with them, and it lowers down all that kinetic energy and everything, and then the kids are able to focus. And now we're seeing the literacy rates going up, the physical literacy rates going up, and some of the schools like North Kipling, they've done studies on them, and they've gone up on the LOL average. And the only way that you could actually say how that has happened, that's like taking a school that is in the worst area and then putting it in the most affluent area. And nothing has changed. No injection of capital.
The geography hasn't changed.
The geography hasn't changed.
It's just putting the right stuff in, and you've got beautiful fruit coming out.
Right.
And these are in public schools.
That's right, right across the country. We've got 21 of them running across Canada.
And I bet you would do more.
Well, you're absolutely right.
The need is great.
If we had the volunteers, you're absolutely right. You know what? There's so much need. The calls that I get are, we're inundated with schools that are saying, please bring the program here, because they recognize that our volunteers are different. They're special. And then when they come in, my goodness, you know, it really, the kids look forward to it. They scream, running and reading, KidsFest, KidsFest. So I come into those campuses, and I'm probably one of the most popular men around. And I do so many assemblies with these kids, and it gives us and wins the right to speak into their lives.
Well, this is the second emphasis this hour on changing the climate within schools and kids' lives. Now, here's another way that we can make a difference. This is the Running Rooms magazine, and we actually have a close-up of the ad that you're going to see. Now, this is Brian in this picture.
Yes.
Running Room celebrating a bit of an anniversary.
The 25th silver anniversary. Yes.
And they've decided to partner with you in a great project this month.
Yes. During the month of April, if anyone goes into a Running Room location, 96 stores across the country, and spends $150 on shoes or apparel, Brooks apparel, they will give a pair of children's shoes to a needy child in their area. And the cool thing about this, and Maura, I have to make sure I get you a pair of shoes as well, because most of the kids that we deal with, I mean, they get shoes that are like 3 years, you know, they're hand-me-downs. But this is the technology that Brooks has designed, and it's called the Pathway, and it's the Pathway of Hope for KidsFest. It was designed specifically for KidsFest, and if you'll see that particular, that little sign right there, yeah.
This is just specially designed. You helped design it, though.
I did. I had the great privilege. I just thank God for some of the things that He's done as far as a favor. But because it has a reinforced outsole, it also has a designed toe here so kids don't just bust through. And with the 4 marks on there, which is the volunteerism, community, education, physical fitness, and also achievement, these are what we believe are the pillars of the Pathway of Hope.
So these are 4 paths that represent the paths that you are pursuing to bring hope to children. And they've actually called the shoe the Pathway.
That's correct.
And the coolest thing, I know George, our producer, and I were getting really revved about this yesterday. These are not available on the market.
No.
These children, the recipients of these shoes, are going to be the trendsetters.
Yes.
These underprivileged kids are going to be out there turning heads with these hot, brand new shoes, about an $85 value, right, to the shoe?
Correct.
And it might rock some people who aren't in the zone to think, well, I've got to spend $150. Well, if you're buying sports equipment, you're going to be looking at that kind of money anyway.
Well, you are. Well, you know, when you talk about the kids in Uniacke Square, the east side of Vancouver, you look at the north side of Hamilton, and you look at Boyle Street in Alberta. You go over to, you know, Winnipeg and Shaughnessy Park and the Paw and all the places that we're in. We're in most of the places that most people don't want to go. And the children that are there usually have shoes that are too small for them.